your mind too, is you have the space right here, but imagine your design is able to be expanded upon. I think that, I don't want to say it has to be a requirement, but try to keep that in your mind when you're doing the design work. Try to think of it as, you know what, if this can expand all the way, this whole building, what would be a good starting place for it? That's kind of the big deal right there. You guys want to go and look at it, ask any questions?
Well, I have some questions.
Sure.
So, just refresh my memory with the elevation. Was the elevation this whole side of the facade?
This is our elevation drawing here.
Okay, so it's your elevation is just of those two sections.
Just the two sections, and you see basically what it's got is the door at the bottom of the window sill right here. So you have this at least to work from right here. And you can plan, everybody can kind of see this here, you can plan on overlaying your design in this square right here, keeping this and the rest of the building in your mind.
Now, is there the possibility of having design elements that extend outside of the boundary?
I don't see why they couldn't. The thing really comes down to the cost of getting there and getting things ready, you know? But we want to make sure that this is the prime focus underneath the windows right there. It's kind of
So, are you prepping just that area, or
No,
will
the whole
maintenance-
building's gonna get prepped.
Okay, so the whole the
But
side.
depending on what this turns out to be, I may have him do this half of the building and then later in summer finish the other half, depending on what you guys need.
Okay.
And how much it costs. You know, I don't know what this is
Right.
gonna cost. We already have in our budget to have the side scraped and painted, but if we're gonna do something like this, there's gonna have to be a lot more tuck pointing and that kind of thing done, and that's a lot more money.
Okay.
Coming off of COVID with running 3 restaurants, there's just not as much money as there has been in years past. So I want to see what the numbers look at. I was just actually on the phone with the tuck pointing guy. He's going to swing out this afternoon and give me the bad news. So
Well, we have, I think, you know what another thing is, we have Herb Cat, you know, he does like some big construction thing,
Does he?
HK or whatever it is. He's done some of the other downtown design buildings and whatnot, contract and stuff. He said that he's going to come out and give a bid as well.
perfect.
And so we'll
Awesome.
probably get 3 bids on that. Really isn't any of your guys' like worry, so
Right.
unless you guys want a tuck point, you know, I mean,
You
that's,
guys just have to make a beautiful design.
Right.
yeah, that's basically it, just making the design.
Well, you know, we don't want to do anything that wouldn't be possible to
I would love to see it go up and over that front because I think when you're coming down 6th Street to be able to see that sticking out, right now this street to me is just so dreary and bleak. Both these buildings are just 2 bland colors.
Yeah.
I would love to see some pop. That's just me. And
That was gonna be my-
Damien would love to see some pop too, you know.
Yeah.
That was
Colors
gonna
that we
be my
picked for
next
inside are
question.
very bright and lively, and I think to translate that onto the outside would be amazing.
Definitely.
So having a design element that potentially wraps around the corner
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
could be something.
Maybe we should take a look at the other side. I mean, you guys all from around here? Or is this like new first time in Racine?
I think we've got a mixed
lot-
bag.
So
mixed
let's
bag
just
of
all walk to the corner real quick. So downtown Racine is 2 main avenues, really, you know, or streets. This is 6th Street. This is one of them. Down there, basically, where you start seeing it kind of drop down, that's Main Street. All the cars going by over there. That's our main street, right? So it's this street and Main Street as our 2 most walked upon streets and highly populated streets. So you're gonna get huge exposure here coming down the street. So it's a very exciting thing. We're gonna, you know, build up downtown Racine like crazy. So I think some of the other questions maybe are like the colors and things like that, right? So
And I should mention that too, if you're
Yep.
talking about colors, because right now the facade was approved that we're gonna do 2 different kinds of gray on the facade to sort of highlight. It's gonna be all new windows and fix the wood, the historical wood elements that are sort of rotted out. So we've been approved to do 2 different shades of gray on the front.
on this part
Yes,
right here.
because I want to get rid of that maroon.
Okay.
But that means that I think, again, the sides should be bright and vibrant, and you know, you'll see like reds, oranges, and yellows, like we talked about Damien's Taste of Soul logo, which
Right.
they'll have on the windows once we put the new windows in.
Right.
I think if we take them inside and show them those colors too that are on the wall already, especially in the design that he did
Yep. Exactly.
on the wall.
So I have a question. Are there any historical preservation.
It's
of
not
the
historical,
look
so
of
this is not a historical district.
Okay,
Now,
gotcha.
we're having some issues with someone that I won't mention right now that doesn't want the super bright colors, but they are reds and those kind of colors are allowed in this district. Just because it's someone's personal preference that they not be in here, shouldn't matter.
Right.
So,
So knowing this is going to be basically the gray colors, and is it going to be like a light gray, a dark gray, a light and a dark?
light and a dark to make the architectural elements stand out.
Do you know which one's going to be what? Like
The majority of the darker elements, like around where the beige is, will be the darker.
Okay, cool.
And then we're looking at painting the door red to match the red on the inside.
Okay.
Would you be able to give us like Pantone specs or color specs for the grays that you've selected?
Yes, I can get a hold of the queen.
Okay, that would be great.
There's that. Now some of the reds that Damien and Tessa were talking about is habanero red. So think of a habanero, right?
That's the Pantone color that I
Right.
chose.
Careful.
Okay.
All right, so habanero, and then you got the grays going on and whatnot. But also, they want it to pop. They want it to be bright. They want it to be inviting. They want it to emphasize, our community here too.
Well,
So
and Damien, the restaurant is southern with soul food, so again, those, to me, that denotes like warm colors, bright, again, the reds, the yellows, the bright oranges, that kind of stuff. Think Louisiana, think down south,
right,
that kind of thing. But we want to be able to tie it into Racine too, so.
right, exactly. So you guys been reading all those poems, huh? Those little excerpts. Hard to choose, I'm sure, a little bit, but a lot of variety in there. So for the newcomers here, this is Tessa. Tessa's the building owner here.
Hi guys.
My name's Nick. This is Anthony over here, my business partner. Obviously, Carrie's the teacher over here. And this is Damien. Damien owns Taste of Soul, and he's leasing from Tessa over here. And it's a wonderful new venue and new adventure. So, Damien, can you tell us a little bit about what Taste of Soul is?
I came up with it from my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandmother, she had a food ministry at our church. She used to feed the homeless. My grandfather used to play the blues. He played with B.B. King. He played with Buddy Guy Legend. So I came up with a thing to keep their legacy going. So I said music for the soul, food for the soul. So I came up with the idea of Taste of Soul. So like here, we'll be closed on Mondays. Eventually be open on Mondays. But Tuesday we have like a karaoke night. Wednesday we have open jam night. Then like Thursdays it'll be like ladies night. Fridays it'll be a band. Saturday be a band. Then Sunday we have Soul Food Sunday, which we have live gospel bands playing on Sunday. And that's gonna be a good thing here.
So, these are some of the colors we talked about. We talked about the reds, the yellows, and this is Damien's logo right here. Don't you have one on the back that's a little bit bigger? Here, stand right here, Damien. Damien's also a killer drummer, just so you guys should know that, Great drummer. So that's kind of the colors that we're looking at. Can we go inside, Damien, and just get a feel?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I think that's about it right here. I'm gonna grab that. I'll meet you guys there.